Welcome to the Shmoo Daddy streaming experience. I'm your host, as per usual, Shmoo Daddy. In case it's the first time you're watching one of these streams, we occasionally do these wild deck guides where we pick a meta or like near off, almost meta deck and just run through proper play patterns because nobody does these anymore. And I am very privileged to welcome one Marty B, aka NHL fan. NHL, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself and who you are so that people know who you are? You're actually a huge figure in the wild community, and I don't know if you have the highest profile.
Hi, yeah, I wouldn't say I have the highest profile. I don't think I ever have. There's a few bigger ones around, and even though some of them don't play wild anymore too much, they're still more prominent than me in the community, in my opinion, and for good reason. Yeah, I've been around for a while. Played in wild since what, Witchwood now? So, been here for a long time, gone through a lot of different metas, played a lot of different decks, all kinds of things. And mostly hang around in Legend and hang out with friends like Smoopy.
You're being
So
you're underselling yourself a little bit. You're commissioner of THL. You are the former forward writer of Tempo Storm. People still remember Tempo Storm meta reports. I know for a while
yeah,
Keith Numbers did it, and then for a little bit Rotted did it, and then you were the person who basically was putting up the chairs at the end of the day when they decided they were going to discontinue it. So like you've actually had a profound influence on the wild meta, along with like just being friends and a networker and just sort of being around and helping refine lists quietly. Um, you're selling yourself a little bit short here.
I appreciate it, but what can I say? I mean, it's a lot of friendships and, like you said, networking. When you get to know a lot of people, you get around and you learn a lot of stuff. And sometimes things work out and you get to have a voice for others. So,
So, well, I mean, one of the reasons I have you on here, and KVLT couldn't make it tonight, but that's okay. One of the reasons why I have you on here is I like having better players than me come on and explain their decks and how to play decks because I feel like I'm serviceable at a lot of different decks, which is why I'm able to run the kind of stream that I am with viewer decks and things along that line. But hearing somebody who is a lot sharper than me, who's at the top end of the competition, who is constantly competing with some of the best players, you guys are just like, you make better decisions, and I like picking your brains about it. So let's start with just like looking at the list. Um, in case nobody, like people are living under a rock and have never like seen Hostage Mage before, what's our game plan?
yeah, so the game plan is pretty simple. We have a bunch of stalling spells, right? We get to copy those stalling spells a bunch of different ways through things like Rewind, um, Commander Savara, Tidepool Pupil, and so on. Okay, so we copy those spells, play them over and over to stall the game, and then eventually we'll get a copy of Potion of Illusion, either through the ways I mentioned before, or via ETC Band Manager. ETC will always have a potion in there. And then we play Romath, Grand Magister Romath. And thanks to our Potion of Illusion, Romath will copy itself, add another copy to hand, and we can go infinite. And we never die.
Hooray! We never die. I actually think this deck is insanely fun. I like that's a controversial take for some people because like they hate playing against it, but it does feel very rewarding, like putting all the pieces together, like accurately using your health total as a resource and knowing how much pain you can take in order to further some future goal so that it allows you to in a later turn make a play that means that you end up winning the game and sealing the whole thing up at the end. I don't know how you feel about playing it.
Yeah, it's very difficult, but it's also very rewarding. I wholeheartedly agree with that. It's one of those decks where it has game into just about everything. So people will try to tech against you when you're playing hostage, and as long as you know the tech exists, you have a solid chance of winning. Okay, tech is not the end of the world for hostage mage. It's one of those decks that is really, you know, if essentially impossible to counter, because all the hard counters are just bad into the meta. You don't see people playing things like Mechathoon Druid.
Right.
We saw Boar Warlock get popular the first few days of this mini set, and it looks tier 4 right now, so it's going to fall off pretty quickly. And even though it countered Hostage Mage, it not surviving means that Hostage Mage is going to come back. And Hostage Mage effectively won't have many good counters again. So the fact that it doesn't feel like it can get easily countered, it's very rewarding to play, like you said, because it's difficult and it rewards better players. And you have basically full control of whatever happens in the game in most matches. It's very satisfying, even if it does take a while to get to your win condition and win games.
Yeah, and like I think that's okay sometimes. Like sometimes you just feel like sitting down for a long game and burning a lot of time. I know like I like queuing up Hostage Mage when I'm on the treadmill, because like if you go full combo, there are times where like I look up and it's like, oh, cool! I just burned 25 minutes of my of my workout, and I wasn't even realizing it because you just get so sucked into like turn by turn. Am I making the right decision? Like how much damage can they put out? Um, and honestly, I don't do a lot of counting with this deck. I do a lot by feel, but feel can get you pretty far because you can kind of sense how much pop they can give you. And like when do you need to Nova? When do you need to Alibi? When can you afford to take a turn off? So let's start talking about flex spots. Let's start talking about flex spots. So I've already noticed a couple of flex spots that like things that you like. The audio amplifier sticks out to me as one of the flex spots. I've been seeing one or no robocallers. I don't think like no robocallers is correct, but I have seen like them. That number kind of changes. Knick Knack Shack. Anything else come to mind as far as like things that you would try or could try?
Yeah, so the other stuff that you missed in terms of flex spots, Xavius, Nightmare Lord Xavius, is a flex,
Yeah.
in my opinion. And the third slot in ETC Band Manager is a flex spot
Yeah, how do you
as
feel?
well.
I've seen, so it's funny. Okay, so I also have KVLT's list because I anticipated him possibly coming on. You guys kind of had like, you guys peaked and peak, and he's a little sleepy, so that's okay. He's actually going the whole like cut Mezzadune, put in watercolor artists instead type train, which I like. I can't disagree with it. I've actually found like watercolor to be like a little bit easier to play recently. Um, but like splitting sleet skaters is so good. He also runs
Yeah, this
Ysera,
is.
which is like call to arms tech, right? Like you just get so high that the it's tough for the web lords to matter. I cut you off. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, I was gonna say like the cards in here are basically your alternatives. There's a few other flex spots I didn't mention too. Like you said, the Mezzadune is a flex. If you're running watercolor artists, it's better not to run Mezzadune.
Yeah, 100%.
Um, Objection is also a flex spot
Mm.
sometimes. Not everyone will run that, so that can be considered flex.
It's funny. It was out of
Um,
favor for a long time, but I know you've always liked it, and OTZ always liked it, and I came to like it because it feels like okay, they know it's subjection, but it's still stealing resources from their hand. They still have to play around it. It makes it like you get card advantage very quickly. I feel like in some kind of tricky matchups, like Reno Priest, which can have some ways to hate on you, or Reno Shaman. How do you like? What's your perspective on objection?
yeah, it's anti-combo, it's anti-slop. Right now we're in a slop meta. A lot of people are playing 40 Reno decks. Those decks tend to just slam a big guy on curve, and Objection does really well into that. So it's been a solid card lately, and I like it personally. I think it's very good. Data has also shown that it's usually worth running.
Cool.
Granted, that's a lot of Chinese data, but tends to be enough. And yeah, it's just a solid card. It's also why KVLT runs it. A lot of these flex spots, honestly, vary greatly because of, the meta.
Mm,
Like, the thing is, it's not just like flex spots where you just run a bunch of different techs. Each slot matters in a certain way. So, for example, you always run one of Audio Amplifier or Ysera. Okay? They both do the same thing in different ways. Audio Amplifier is just the overall better card. Ysera is better for Paladin specifically.
you're right.
So that's one example.
Okay.
Um, what else? The Watercolor Artist versus the Mezzadune.
Right.
Okay? You're playing a small pool of elementals to run Mezzadune so that you can get a ton of armor gain. Meanwhile, Watercolor Artist, you don't want multiple copies of it, but it gives you spells, so that's Spell Tutor,
It's a little bit
depending
better
on what you
into like
want.
an aggro field, I feel like, versus, Mezzadune is kind of better or has felt better into matchups like if you see a lot of big shaman, or if you're expecting to see a lot of miracle rogues, like splitting the sleet skater basically ends those matchups.
Exactly. Exactly. And then you also have room for tech cards. So Xavius is kind of the all-around good stuff.
Hmm.
Sometimes, depending on what I'm anticipating, I'll run Theatar there, because Theatar can be good, especially in the mirror sometimes.
Yeah, the Atar in the mirror feels really good because it's like if you're if you're I feel like the mirror gets like so convoluted sometimes between Bob and Theatar, because like you could lose your Romath and your etc and still win and still full combo, and just pull it out of your ass somehow through just hand manipulation and hand warfare. Like are you supposed to play something, are you not supposed to play something, can become a really like interesting question.
Yeah, I actually wanted to talk about the mirror a bit, because one of the cards that a lot of people like to run is Dirty Rat,
Hmm.
and they'll often run Devolving Missiles with it. I think that's completely wrong,
Okay.
and I think KVLT would agree. What we do instead is we see the third slot in ETC Band Manager, and we add our single tech card there. Boom, Pistol Bully. The thing is, Rat is supposed to be looped with Romath and your Ceaseless, so that
Hmm.
you can basically empty the opponent's hand. But the problem is that leaves their top decks being able to win them the game. And you don't want that to happen. So the best way to counteract that is to make it so that they can't play any cards whatsoever. And Boom Pistol Bully does exactly that.
Does better at that. Got you. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, cool. Yeah, I was gonna say I do like devolving missiles in this meta. I have hated it in the past because I don't like. I've not liked the idea of, well, if you ever find yourself repeating devolving missiles, you have to. I know you have to like pick it intentionally, but there are times where it would make sense, where it's just like, all right, well, this seems like a good option now. Now it can undo your freezes when you've frozen a board and you need that board frozen, and all of a sudden Romath's undoing your freezes, right? And I've hated that. But with um, Discard Warlock and Expired Merchants and Tiny Knights, I feel like sometimes the devolving missiles has felt pretty good because you're removing it. But I recognize that, like, that's not. It's definitely like something like devolving missiles is definitely a flex for slotting in.
Yeah.
All right, chat's already asked. Have you talked about Romath in versus out of the
Yes.
ETC yet? Yeah, I went through
Yeah.
a period of madness where it was in one of my survivor decks, and I kind of got used to it, and I kind of like it. I OTZ sort of saw the vision too, but didn't get a ton of data on it before. I didn't really hear their opinion about it. I go ahead and just flame me for it already.
You're trolling. You're trolling having it in there. That's it. Like, there's nothing else to say. Because think of it this way. The idea is that you have one fewer card to draw, right? One
Right.
fewer combo piece. But the thing is, you don't have to draw ETC in the first place. to copy potion and to loop.
That is true.
So it doesn't make sense. It's much harder to also tutor ETC, right? So we run 2 copies of Robocaller, right?
Mm-hmm.
But look at all the 4s we run. We have Savara, we have Potion, we have Arden, we have Volume Ups, right? So it's very difficult to tutor ETC.
Yeah, the list
That's why
I
we're not
actually
super
stole
blind.
it from was only running one robocaller. I think in part because of that reason, where it was like it was double shack one robocaller versus. That's what I mean. Where it's like having 2 robocallers was almost flex in that particular list.
Yeah, well, it's it's still super hard to get ETC on command,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the thing is, not only do you have to draw ETC, which is more difficult, you're also basically telegraphing when you have Romath in your hand and when they need to rat, if they know,
Right. Right. If they know.
right? So so it's super easy to disrupt compared to not having Romath in there. And then we're gonna get into the most obvious thing. You're paying an extra 4 mana for your win condition,
Yeah, it's fair enough.
right?
It's all valid points. I remember
Right?
flaming it too, and then I don't know, mental illness took over, and I enjoyed it. I did like having the whole
Yeah,
package together and being able to put the whole thing together, and it was like, this kind of feels okay. And then really your eggs are only in one basket for them to disrupt. But you're right, it does telegraph if they know um, when they get you. And there are times where like, I just straight up lost the game last stream because an ETC on a Reno Priest's board stuck, and they just whirlpooled it, and it nuked my ETC. And I was like, well, at least I can Varden them down, and then that didn't come to fruition.
yeah. And like, it also means you lose an ETC slot, which means, it's harder to get Light Show out of the ETC to end the game sooner. You can't run text spot or text in that slot anymore.
Well,
So it's just very awkward to me.
that's the part that's actually not so bad. You'd think it would be, but it's not so bad. Once you get the Romath out of the ETC, and like so it's like you get the so you need a turn where you can ETC and potion. But then once you play the little mini ETC and you play the Romath's going to bounce the mini ETC, and then you're going to get your light show. So I actually found it was easier with Romath in the ETC to get all 3 of your cards, which typically doesn't happen. Like usually, like people would joke that like this 3rd card in the ETC is basically meaningless, right? Like you can almost throw in anything. I like your Polkelt, by the way. I do like Polkelt as like an optional 3rd slot in the ETC. There are times where you just absolutely need to top deck Ceaseless or top deck Romath, and you know it's coming because you've got the Polkelt, and you can just slam it with a Frost Nova on 6 or something, or on 5 or something, for example. Like there are times where it's just going to be good. But like we've joked in the past that like the 3rd card's almost functionally meaningless in the ETC, and I actually end up using all 3 cards with that way. But it does make the combo turn require some planning. So I started doing stuff like adding Ysera to the deck so that you could get over the mana cap, because you needed to get over the mana cap.
I was gonna say you need to get over the mana cap, so you have to run Ysera. And we know or at least from what I've seen, Ysera doesn't look as great as other options. So you're still making sacrifices to do that. So either way, I'm not a fan. I think it's funny. It's
It can
different.
work.
Yeah, and when it does, it's hilarious. But would I recommend it? Probably not.
And that's again, that's kind of the fun part about this list is I was really actually looking forward to this first part where we start talking about flex spots. Costume Singer was another one, right? Like this looks like just like a good card, but just like you could build this list so many different ways. And I think the core pieces like Solid Alibi, Frost Nova, Ice Block less than the other pieces. Solid Alibi is really the main issue, I think, in my mind. When it comes down to it, the fact that you can basically limit your damage taking and then gain armor is freaking brutal. But you could build this many different ways, and it kind of all works. And I don't know how many decks in Wild right now are like that, where they're, the core is that strong that you can really kind of flex out, and it's all sort of functional on mostly the same level. I don't like. Can you think of a second deck? I can't.
Yeah, there's not a lot. This is a very unique deck. It's going to be very difficult to kill too.
Yeah, yeah.
In terms of balance changes, I honestly think alibi it would be the hit if you wanted to target this, but I don't know if that would be enough because the only thing it does is it makes the deck more vulnerable to tech. But as we know, tech isn't enough against a good player.
Potion to rogue only, like Romath to once a game. You can do some like really extreme things that kill the deck, but I feel like all that does is kill this current iteration of Hostage Mage. We can always find another win con around like the backbone that is Mage Stall. So is it just, do we just gut Mage Stall? I don't know the answer to that question. I'm just saying, like you're saying, like if we are gonna slap it, I know KVLT is a big fan of Alibi to 4. I don't know if that's good enough.
I don't know.
Nova once per
So,
game, you can actually get into a fun discussion with, like, all right, let's do some really Reddit ass like nerfs here. Is that even good enough?
well, we just give up the Romath shell, honestly. What we do is we go straight to
We orb gamers now.
playing the birds. Yeah, we play the orb again.
Friendship with
And then we
Romath
just
ended. Friendship with Orb begins.
yeah. And it's not gonna be as good, but it's still gonna be just as annoying.
Well,
So
the funny thing about Orb is if you can run 2 parrots, you can't run 2 Romaths. So like it in some ways it's like almost more like it's going to annoy more people because they're just like, well, I got one of their parrots, but I didn't get their second parrot.
exactly. So
All right. This is actually hard because I was thinking about this. I always ask these questions when I do guides. Like basic mulligan. I don't even know what my basic mulligan for Hostage Mage is. I feel like my brain has played this deck enough that like I kind of take some subpar or some sort of niche mulligans, and I'm just kind of like, yeah, sure. What are you looking for first and foremost when you mulligan for this deck? I don't even think I know anymore.
you always want costume singer.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Okay. You almost always want audio amplifier.
True.
And then the other good keeps vary by matchup.
I was a big fan on the coin of volume up.
Yes, on the coin you can keep volume up usually. That's usually a good keep on the coin. But everything else more or less varies. Ben says the only way to hurt hostage is to ban ice block completely. Ice block is the only thing that people can tech against. People can't tech against solid alibi.
True. It's true. It's so
And
true.
the thing is, the way you get around tech most of the time in matchups is by looping alibi and armor gain.
The eye-opening
People,
thing. Oh, sorry. I was interrupting you. Continue your thought. Go ahead.
yeah, so people say that seedlock is a popular counter to hostage mage, right? And it makes sense when you look, Diamond of Legend is nearly 70% into mage. Okay, so you'd think, yeah, it's a valid counter. If you check top 100, like the high legend people, it's not countering nearly as hard. It's close to 50-50. And why? It's because of solid alibi.
Mm.
You just loop alibi over and over, and then they can't pop the block. And then they can't tech you. So all you do is make sure that you stay above the threshold with armor, and just loop alibi over and over. You never die.
Easier said than done, right? Like easier said than done. They're usually a good seedlock player. I'm assuming is never playing giants. They're trying to turbo their quest as fast as possible, but you are playing objection. So like you are slowing down that process in this list specifically. Even if you're getting like a crystallizer or you're getting a geode, like that can really hamper the seedlock's progress. They're not getting that back through Raise Dead. and you get a little bit more time to do what you need to do. I did notice that I beat all my hostage mages and imbue mages this month on Seedlock, again in 10x MMR, so not nearly as good a caliber of player. But I beat them all without Rat or Curse of Rapham. And I can't tell you the huge number of games where I realized I was copying Ice Block to have extra Ice Blocks, and then they were just sitting dead in my hand when I could have copied Solid Alibi or Frost Nova, or just something that would have, or a coin that would have had more relevancy or more text, which I think is interesting to note and to just keep in mind.
Yeah, the thing is, people don't realize you don't have to start playing your stall right away, right? They're good at different stages of the game. So let's take the Seedlock matchup, right? You're not playing Alibi most of the time in that matchup until they're getting their quest down,
Yeah,
right? Their quest reward down.
100%.
So until Tamsin is coming down, and you know Tamsin's going to come down the next turn, you shouldn't be playing Solid Alibi. All you got to do is freeze the board. They're not going to do anything. They can't damage you. They need to damage themselves, right? You're not pinging them either, by the way, because you don't want to give them a chance to summon giants.
Right.
You want to make them work for it, because they do want to get the giants down. Because if they get the giants down and you don't have freezes, then you're taking a ton of damage, and then you're in trouble. Because the lower your health is by the time Tamsin comes down, the less time you have to stall, and the less likely it is that you'll be able to get to Romath. So,
So it
play passively.
might be user error, basically, like navigating that sort of stage of the game, if Seedlock's doing that well into a hostage mage.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sorry. I sneezed. Okay, so we talked about basic mulligan. We said costume singer. We said like volume up on coin. What was the other one you said? You
Audio,
said
audio amplifier
audio
is good
amplifier.
in
I agree.
almost everything.
I feel like if you aren't, I love playing volume up on curve on 4, but without playing something beforehand that reduces the number of cards in hand, whether that's like a shield battery or an audio amplifier, we don't have a lot of cards that we can play on 1 or 2 safely that actually get cards out of our hand. You are guaranteeing that you burn something finaling volume up, which I'm usually okay with doing. I'm usually like take the risk, and I'm like, the odds of this ending my game are usually pretty low. But like audio amplifier basically makes that like you're never burning a card in the game ever again, unless you've had to do something silly like copy or rewind or something like that out of desperation.
So, I don't think you have to mill all that often, including playing volume up on 4. Reason being, you should be using up all your mana every single turn. I've talked to a few other people about this, and Colt, who was also in the last discussion, immediately agreed with me. Um, if you're playing this deck, you should be spending all of your mana every turn.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason to have any mana left over. You shouldn't be floating anything. Okay, if there are things you can do, you should be doing them. There's no excuse. I know this deck can look pretty heavy at times, or feels like you only need to play 1 card a turn. No. I promise it's okay. There should be ways to set yourself up so that you can do even better plays later on. Whether that's by making hand space, finding copies of spells that you're going to want to use to stall more later on, or digging for other cards. Right? There's no need to mill. There's no need to float. There should be something for you to do.
I miss our biscuit. I do miss biscuit. I liked biscuit when you first had it in here. I know we don't play it anymore. I know it's gone, and I'm sad about it. But that was also a fun flex. I felt like, because that was something that you could just like rip, and you didn't even have to sit on the biscuit if you didn't want to. Like if you wanted to have hand space, you could rip biscuit, rip the other side of it, and then rip a volume up with finale, and you were also good to go there. I do miss that pattern of play.
Yeah, I think we got rid of it when Shield Battery came into play
Yeah,
because we needed more space for spells, and it turns out Shield Battery is insane because it complements Solid Alibi so well.
I did call that. I will take the opportunity to say I did call that, and I was just like, I think this card's gonna be good in Hostage Mage. I didn't know it would be this
Yeah.
good, but I was like, we are like, but with Solid Alibi up, shield batterying and then repeating shield battery, and it's like, oh, I can only take 7 damage and I'm gaining 12 health. Surely this will be fine.
All right, should we get into more specific mulligans?
Yes, let's do that. So more specific mulligan matchups. So all right, now we are experts at Hostage Mage. Now we're facing more varied opponents. Um, what are you picking up?
All right, if I'm against aggro, I'm taking Frost Nova.
Okay.
If I want to play volume up on 4, okay, I don't think keeping shield battery is that insane
Mm-hmm.
because it's an
I
easy
agree.
way to dump something.
I agree. And you have to dump
If I'm
something, right? We want to
against,
get cards out of
yeah,
hand if we want to volume up on curve.
yes, sometimes shield battery will be okay for that. It's not always what you want, but when your hand is that bad, you don't want to take a risk. It makes some sense,
Yeah.
especially against aggressive stuff. That 6 armor can matter sometimes, especially since you want to get the volume up down. If you can get volume up down and survive, you're probably winning.
It has some upside, yeah. I
Okay,
got it.
yes. Against anything that plays smaller minions, metal detector is really good, especially on curve. Okay. It's also pretty decent in the mirror, in my opinion. It stops them from wanting to play much, and eventually they're going to play something, so you can drop it. It's also fine to set up volume up, as we talked about before.
All right.
Let me think.
Oh, sorry.
Against hyper combo, you want objection.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Against paladin, yeah. Against paladin, you want block. That one should be, in my opinion, no-brainer. It's just good into every single paladin deck, in my opinion.
You kind of have to block,
And
but you can't feel comfortable with it against Holy Wrath because they usually run the tech, right? Like I feel like Holy Wrath, but ooh, Holy Wrath has this interesting thing it can do where like it looks like it's like has no hope of winning the Hostage Mage matchup until all of a sudden it does.
so that's the neat part. It's very hard for them to get the secret tech down and Holy Wrath at the same time.
Mm,
And you know when they're able to Holy Wrath. So if you get blocked down right away, then they can't Holy Wrath and get the tech down. Once you know that they can get the tech down with the Holy Wrath, you can start looping solid alibis.
yeah.
And then they can't win.
All right, so that's the neat part. So that's what we're trying to lean on with Holy Wrath. Um,
Yes.
other specific
Um,
mulligans?
yes. So if you know you're facing Quest Demon Hunter, Knick-Knack Shack is your friend.
Yes.
Knick-Knack Shack is probably another flex spot, specifically for Demon Hunter, because it's the only way you can survive a glide. Otherwise, you
Yeah.
just auto lose to glide most of the time, and it sucks. So that's your lifesaver there. Is there anything else?
Maxi actually valued. I remember Maxi saying he valued Knick-Knack Shack as a draw engine more than like Robocaller or some of the other cards. Like he really thought this was a really important card in the list. And it's interesting. I see it like kind of creeping back into the list or like more modern Hostage Mage lists more and more. Maybe even more giving like a more solid spot than Robocaller just because I love Robocaller is so good at fishing the card that you want, especially if you have deck tracker and you know exactly what you're going to be pulling. But just kind of having like you just drop Shack, you don't even have to draw with it right away. You just drop it and it's getting a card out of hand, and the turn you're going to start using Shack, you can just pop off with it.
Yeah, usually you're doing that in the later turns,
Mm-hmm.
though.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the curve can be pretty heavy sometimes, so you want to make sure that you often have enough mana to play stuff. It's also really good with Bulk Celt.
Yeah.
I'll give it that. It's very good with Bulk Celt because then you can dodge any tech that a player might pull out of ETC. You know, So there is merit there. I think that covers it for the mulligan, though.
Do you keep
Nothing else.
how do you mull for? Do you mull anything for the mirror? Do you mull like objection for the mirror? I'm a fan of
I
like trying to
keep.
loop objection in the mirror because like there's only so many minions you can chuck into it before they're like, I guess I'll chuck in this Tide Pool pupil. I guess I'll chuck in Savara. I guess I'll chuck in Robocaller or Renathal.
I would keep ETC
Okay,
in the mirror.
you'd keep
That's your win condition there.
try to
It
go
has
just
everything you
try to go
need.
faster.
Yeah.
Got you. All right. So that should cover mulligans. Having covered mulligans, I think we're on to common mistakes. What are common mistakes you see people doing when they play this deck?
So I know we covered a few earlier. Milling more often than they have to, and not spending enough mana.
Okay.
You shouldn't be floating.
Okay. So do not float mana. Make the decision to use all of your mana, do all your things, because it sets you up for a better play later. I think was the logic you said.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you almost never have to float mana. If it's the only times you're floating mana, it's when it's something like you can waste 2 mana to ping your opponent, but you don't want to because they're seedlock,
Okay.
right? So that's like one of the rare instances where you don't want to ping. So the other common mistake that people make is in deck building.
Mm.
So I know we talked about rats, but there is a bigger offender in bad cards. And that is the milling cards.
Right.
So Research Project and Cold Light Oracle.
Oh God.
Those cards are terrible.
Oh God.
Why are we playing those? Why are we giving our opponent cards?
I see an
That's how they win the
Eridar
game.
Brute and I vomit. Like, there's always an Eridar Brute list, and I'm like, why? Why are you letting your opponent unboard lock themselves when you have them board locked? What are you doing?
I get it. It's healing. I'm not going to get too mad at someone for playing a cheap card, cheap defensive card.
Oh,
You know,
but it's so bad.
I mean, it's fine against Priest. Priest specifically, it's pretty good into it.
No, don't justify it, please.
Look, we're comparing a defensive card that can sometimes win games to milling cards in a deck that already has a hard time emptying its hand.
Yeah, no. I'll agree with you with that with the research project and the Cold Light Oracle. Can we also include imbue cards to that list? Can we please keep the imbue cards out of our hostage mage?
Yeah, those are two completely different decks. Imbued Mage is fun, and yeah, it does have some of the same cards, but they play effectively differently, right? You use your blocks there just to get to your turn to wipe them out. In this, your blocks aren't for that. Your blocks are there to loop and to make sure you never die.
I've played like the hybrid before, and I feel like the games I win, I've either drawn the hostage mage half or I've drawn the imbue mage half. But the games that I draw like a little bit of this and a little bit of that, it all goes to shit. Like it's just like your pings aren't doing enough damage and you've run out of stall, or like it's not a matchup where your pings actually matter and you don't have any survivability. Like it just hamstrings you both ways.
Yeah. So, I see in the comments, someone talked about seeing 2 Arcane Artificers in a list.
I don't even know.
Artificer used to be alright. Before, if you were running a budget list without Mezzadune,
Yeah.
and, this was before Watercolor Artist was a thing, then sure. Artificer is fine because, it combos well with spells. You have some pretty expensive spells, you can gain some armor here and there. If it sticks, then you're super happy and your opponent ends up, seeing you gain a ton of armor for 1 mana. But with Mezzadune around, Artificer isn't worth it. And when you have watercolor artists around, Artificer is just the odd elemental out.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's worth anymore. There was a time when, I wouldn't think it's too crazy,
I don't hate
but
it.
we can do
Like
better.
it's a dire mole on one. It's one less card from hand. You're using your mana, and your spells are usually kind of chunky. But like we could be doing much better things.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. I do like Javius because I do value the dark gifts. I feel like dark gifts are kind of underrated in how nutty they can be, especially when you get something like double battle cry, etc. And the pool isn't so big that you don't necessarily find some kind of high roll from them. I just sorry, like ADHD thoughts.
I kind of agree though. Like the Xavius is just good to tutor stuff, and sometimes the dark gifts are a bonus.
The
So I don't hate the card. It's
yeah.
definitely the 40th in my opinion,
Okay.
but it's a fine card. No complaints.
It's the deck that wants minions and it goes and it gets a minion and you get to choose which minion it is. Like I know we're not narrowing the deck list down so much that you get to pick the exact minion you want every time, but like I don't hate it. Um, we're I think we're transitioning into the tips and tricks portion of the video. There is like the fun part about hostage mage is okay. You're playing against the big shaman. They've ancestors called your Romath. Your Romath explodes. You concede, right? I'm kidding.
Not quite.
Right.
Not quite. So, um, a lot of people just give up when Romath is gone. The truth is, there's like 6 different ways to win with Hostage Mage. You don't need Romath every game. You don't need to go infinite. You can kill them in so many other ways. Marty ruined Wild. Oh, Schmoopy ruined Wild this time.
I
Wow.
ruined wild. Oh, KVLT's
For
in
once,
chat.
it's
Hi,
not me.
KVLT. You can hop in if you want, but if you don't, because you're tired, that's also okay. Either way.
So, um, yeah, so tips and tricks. Like I said, there's a ton of different ways you can win. Uh, you can beat Mildruid. I know people think Mildruid is a hard counter. It's not. A proper Hostage Mage player can do pretty well into Mildruid, because Mildruid is super linear, and it doesn't have a real win condition. Because, like we said before, mill cards are bad. You may be wondering, how do we win that? Well, if they disrupt your Romath, or your loop, you can run a different loop. Okay, you have Savara, you have Waste Copy, Potion of Illusion, you have Tidepool Pupil. You can do that. And you can use Finley to make sure that you don't really take much fatigue.
I don't know if I ever put that loop together. Like I've looped them a little bit, but I've never done like a stable like and now I loop Typool Pupil and it's copied by my copied Savara and I go from there. I don't think I've ever been able to pull that off. But I know for me like the alternate win con immediately is like you just go straight like Dom Grasp. Okay, it's time for stall and Dom Grasp and pick off their minions and make a massive Dom Grasp hero power and you can get pretty far just with that.
Yeah, that's usually how I've won games with Mage against, Mill Druid. You just hit them with 8 damage pings for a few turns and they die. The other thing is you can do is you can loop Ceaseless a bit to
Mm.
make sure that they can't kill you as you do it. You can use Bob or other freezes to stop them. You can build a board while you're using freezes so that you can then deal more damage to your opponent
Oh, you're just straight tempo. I mean,
while they're just kind of.
that's so satisfying to me. Those games where you Varden into Potion Varden into Bob, and like hey like out of nowhere you're dealing 8 damage on your board every turn, and they're not interacting with you, and you just tempo them down.
Yeah. There are going to be times too when they just leave Kill Jaden on the board, or a high value target, and you get to copy with Bob, and now you have a new Witcom. So that's another way you can win. There's just so much you can do, right? And you also find the occasional mill druid who misplays and mills the only way that they avoid fatigue, and then you can fatigue them too.
Right.
Okay, there have been matches where I fatigued my opponent, and it's hilarious. Just this week in THL, I was up against a rogue. What did I do as mage? I froze their board over and over, and then they fatigued themselves, and they died. So
But
there's a lot of
Marty,
different
they
ways you
ran
can win.
Starfish. How'd you beat the Starfish?
Well, you see, Mesadune split some Sleet Skaters, and I just used the Sleet Skaters, and it gave me armor, and then they couldn't even pop my block.
Unlucky.
They did eventually, but it didn't matter.
All right. Are we?
Yeah, there's
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
there's plenty of ways to win. The main thing is you need to recognize what your opponent is playing, so that you know when to change your game plan. I don't mean change your game plan like use a different win con. I mean figure out how you're stalling at that stage of the game. Okay, so we talked a bit about Holy Wrath Paladin, right? How we know when they're able to Holy Wrath and use their secret tech, and that's when you start playing alibis. We talked a little about Shaman, right? Where you just wait for them to play a minion and then you just freeze them over and over. There's no need to waste your freezes otherwise. We talked about with Seedlock, how you don't alibi until you know they're going to play Tamsin. Okay? And I'll give one more example just so you can really hammer it in. Let's talk about the Dungar Druid matchup. Because KVLT has spoken to it a bit, and he says that this should be about even.
He really likes the
Okay?
matchup. He plays it very well.
He does. And I think this is one of the places where I disagree. Because I think in a perfect world, where both players play perfectly, the mage always wins. Why? You're going to start with objection. So first, the druid has to play around objection. Then, once you know, then once they get to the combo turn, okay, they have to wait for you to stop alibying, because you can preemptively alibi once you know they have enough mana to combo.
Yeah.
And then once you run out of alibis, you still have block. So now they have to get through the blocks. And through all that stall, you're usually able to put your combo together to just go infinite and never die. And then they fatigue before you. And because it's Dungar Druid, they can't run ATC, and they can't run tech. So they never pop your block, and you never die.
All right. He's saying in
But the
chat,
only way you
to
win...
be clear, he doesn't think it's even. He just thinks it's winnable for the Dungar.
Okay, that's fair.
That's fair.
I think it's because he was even into Mage's Dungar.
Well,
So that's where it's coming from.
he's probably skill differencing the shit out of people.
This is true. This is true.
He is even into
But the
Mage.
thing is...
That's disgusting. All right.
Yeah. The thing is, people will play stuff like Alibi way too early.
Right. Because they want to copy
Right.
it, because they want to get it in the pool. But it's like, yeah, but it could be better later.
Yeah, there's no need.
Yeah.
Don't force something just because you have to. There's gonna be another play. Just drop a minion.
Yeah.
Okay, your freezes don't matter. You can throw them away. It's okay. You're getting stuff on the board, and you're gonna deal damage to them that way.
Yeah.
So make sure to recognize when your opponent is going to try to do their thing, and just stall them. And if you know when they're going to be doing that in every single game, no matter what you face, you'll do much better with the deck.
All right. You ready to try winning some games with us?
Yeah, let's go.
All right.
Oh, we don't need that today. Oh no, please tell me. Oh, is this a mirror?
Probably imbue, honestly. They're 220. They're 235 this time of the month. I'm going to assume it's imbue, but if it's the mirror, that'd be very funny. I think full toss.
This is definitely a full toss. We're up against Mage. Mage doesn't have many minions we want to freeze.
They're Highlander. How do you feel about the Highlander matchup? I think we're like giga favored. They have Zeph, but they have a lack of consistency.
That's the thing. It's just Zeph, right?
Yeah.
So as long as we can play around Zeph, we'll be fine. Oh, it's this.
It's this.
I mean, we can play a spell, right?
So you're good with
You get
doing
some armor
the
here.
shield battery in this turn instead of the ping? Like, we're not trying to... Are you ever trying to grade
Yes.
this to, like, waiting to copy this with something? Or that's just, like, we have the mana now, we might as well get it out of hand?
If we draw volume up, we're going to be very happy that we played that.
Say less. I'm okay with it. I feel like I've changed how I play this deck so much. I'm looking to learn from from doing these guides too.
All right. So here's the thing.
Our hand doesn't do
They
anything.
played the quest. Yeah. And block is nice. We can block
Block also
because it's
like
good into.
does nothing, right?
It does do something. It forces them to get Zeph.
Oh. I think this tells me it's Reno if they're doing Discovery of Magic. I wasn't sure if it was going to be the, like, just a normal dupes version with goofy shit. They probably have, oh. Well, that's unfortunate. Well,
That's fine. We can potion.
I like potioning it right now. It's a nice excuse to get potion in the pool, honestly. And the Robocaller was an excellent top deck.
Robocaller could be useful this turn, or this upcoming turn.
I don't even hate, with this hand, I don't even hate, like, drawing 3 dog shit cards and just, like, Finleying and, like, just making our hand better.
That's what I'm looking at as well.
Yeah. Alright, what do we got?
6, 5, and 9.
It's, like, too early to get Romath.
Nah, let's do it.
You want to do it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Alright.
The reason why we're doing it is because we think they're Highlander. They already played Rat. Who cares? We can just ping the Rat.
Are you,
We probably want to try with.
I think I want to swing with Finley to soften it up for the metal detector.
Exactly.
Okay.
You simply lack perspective.
It's still not over. We can always just take their Theatar with Bob if they take our Romath. Which is like the fucked up part about this deck is like, oh. Oh, okay.
That was Robocaller?
They took Bob.
We took Bob, okay. What if we play 2 3s?
I'm sorry, one more time?
What if we play the 2 3s? So our weapon and the objection.
Yeah, I like that.
Think quickly.
I also have to apologize since I have you in person now. You always have such like it comes from a very academic spot of like, what if we do this? And like I'm never reading it that way on stream. I'm always like in a shitty mood, and I'm like, Marty's trying to backseat me without backseat. And you're like, no, I'm really like curious.
All right, so they got the flare.
They got the flare now. Yeah. We kind of don't care. And we can potion this turn if we want to.
Yeah, let's potion this turn.
I was gonna slap the Zeph, but we do have our choices. I can't get rid of both Theatars, so I'm just pretending it doesn't exist.
So this is gonna be a little weird. I think we trade into the Zephyrs and then we don't do anything.
Think quickly.
I think I agree. We're kind of there.
That's my thought.
Weirdly, we're like there.
So we're gonna print mana with Romath.
It doesn't matter. Oh no, we're gonna get an ETC. Okay.
Okay, so they're stopping us from comboing. So it feels like we have to stall a bit more.
I'm feeling like a fish out the light show, but like my instincts telling me we're like sleet skater and kind of and like getting our light show and going from there, kind of. Unless you want to do the other thing I can think of is like Varden and start getting the ability to ping off my own stuff if their plan is to just freeze this ETC forever. But I will shut the fuck up and listen to what you want to do.
So I want to start with the ETC light show first.
And you're ripping it.
Yep.
Okay.
And then I think I want to ping the ETC.
The little one or the big one?
The little one.
Okay.
They can't kill us.
Right.
So I'm not worried.
So we're going to get 2 to hand next turn, but we're going to print mana with Romaths. Yeah, they're trying to like stop me from removing my ETC as best
they
can.
are.
The time has come to dethrone our former master.
That's a good pickup, I feel like.
So we gotta start.
Do I ever do this and trade off my ETC? It does kill my 1/1 Romaths, though, right? Like, that's the danger.
So what we do, we coin Romath.
We're coin Romath?
Coin Romath. Yeah,
Okay.
coin Romath.
Don't think too hard. You'll hurt yourself.
And now we do it.
Now we do it? You're up for it?
And now we do it. Yeah, do it.
Yay,
And then
it's such
trade.
a fun line. It's insane, though. This...
Now you can trade it off.
Okay.
Yeah, and then just Romath.
Don't think too hard.
And that should be a win. We should win here.
Just spam Romaths.
Yeah. GG.
Oh, it makes a... what?
You can play another one.
It makes a what?
Don't think too hard. You'll hurt yourself.
No. Give me more copies, please. Oh, because it doesn't kill the 1/1s, because they're not 1/1s. Duh.
Exactly. And that should be game.
You've counted already?
Well, the rook is still
the
going.
turn timer didn't blow up. Look at that. Look at us go. Oh, that's so cute. It doesn't turn it into... It doesn't kill the 1/1. It turns it into a 3/5, because now it's a 5/7
That's
minus
right.
2 minus 2. I'm so fucking stupid.
That's right.
Holy shit.
Isn't that a funny way to win?
That is a funny way to win. They gave us our win condition. Thank you.
They really did. So, this is a very funny, and I don't think I've ever won this way, actually. I've just never had that card before.
Well, that's what's so cool about Hostage Mage. It's like sometimes you do uncover like the weird loop that's like, oh, this is just lethal. Are you good for one more? I know it's really late. It's really early or really late for you. I'm also okay
Can do
with wrapping
one
it up.
more.
We can do one more?
That is weird, because if they're playing Plagues, it could get annoying.
It can get annoying, but you play around it by just keeping a full hand, right? Which should be in our tips and tricks. Like, to a certain extent, once you start looping Romath, you can. I feel like Costume Singer and nothing else. Like, if it's an aggro DK, I guess we eat shit by tossing the Frost Nova, like you said, but at the same time, it's like, eh.
I don't think there's a reason to keep Frost Nova.
Yeah.
I don't think Finley is worth keeping either. Costume Singer is really good. They're going to want to probably coin out their hero power if they have to.
Mm-hmm. I played volume up at 10 cards to mill 2 plagues. That's beautiful.
Oh my god.
That's beautiful.
40 Death Knight.
Can you
with the pet.
please give me objection?
These are the players that the devs are catering to at this point. Makes me so sad.
So you cheer shield battery here.
100%.
Okay. Say less. I'm down for it.
Show me the hero power.
Nope.
Okay, we're chilling. We're chilling.
Okay.
Oh, let's play the audio amplifier. That's so good.
We could, or they could be about to coin Helia. They full kept 2 cards, and we were a mage. I think they're gonna coin a Helia. I want to objection. I think.
All right, let's objection then.
I'm reading.
I'm just thinking about the.
I'm reading the dog shit meta, like the whispers.
All right, it'll be fine.
It'll be fine. They full kept 2 cards, bruv. Shut the fuck up. Thank you, Millsy. I think this is a fine amplifier turn now.
Yeah, we're gonna have to play amplifier. It sucks that we have to float. The alternative is rewind ping. But then amplifier just gets more and more awkward to get out on the board later
Might
on.
as well just get it out, yeah. Okay. I think here comes the coin. The coin, hell yeah. Buttons.
That's
Drew
not hell
one
yeah.
card.
All right.
We obviously trade in ping, I think, because this is annoying. It's not game ending, but it's annoying. Unless you don't want to.
I like the trade ping rewind for shield battery.
Are we good? Oh, shield battery? Interesting. Okay. Shield battery versus objection. We could play the Okay, so you want to do shield battery.
I do want to do shield battery.
Just to get into the pool. And
Yeah.
also gets it into the little guy if we need it.
I don't think we're going to be playing it.
Mm.
I look at this and I want a Finley. Because we know this is a slot pile.
They're never popping our block.
No.
And we don't want to use rewind.
I don't think we're tossing the next shield battery in. We value the card more.
Okay, so you're good with Finley?
Yeah,
Okay.
because we can still volume up and not mill.
Oh, that would be sexy. We did not. Maybe we do actually. Let's wait for the. No, we did not get the Romath. The volume up. We did get Romath. Okay, this is cute. That we have options. We could go get our. We could start filtering out the ice blocks, and we could get the other objection, or we could go get a minion. I feel like into what's probably a disruption slot pile, the minion is more valuable.
We want to play the Xavius. We don't care about our blocks. The secrets are at the bottom of the deck. We don't want them.
Yeah.
Singers are disruption fodder. Let's take Robocaller.
I was going to say, big fan of Robocaller in that particular situation. And it's dirt cheap. I usually get Theotard right after Finley. Fair enough. Hello, NHL and Schmoopy. Hey, Azalea.
Hello.
Thank you, Lenny. All right, there it is. All right, they did shuffle up for us, which is nice of them.
Also, this is to Schmoopy and the rest of chat. Lena and company say hi.
Yay! Hi, Lena.
Let's rip Robocaller.
Okay, you're good with Robocaller?
Oh, yeah.
Draws a 2 and draws a 4. We could get ETC. We got Shivara. We got a 0 mana card. Ooh, how do we feel about Pot here?
Ooh.
Get Pot and Shivara.
Let's play the 1-drop first.
Okay, 1 drop first. So we're kind of just keeping our hand heavy versus rats versus patchwork versus disruption.
Yeah. And then we can... How many cards do we have in hand?
8.
8?
8, but we have 11
Yeah, there's
spots.
no reason to play.
I'm sorry?
There's no reason to play any... Or we can play the singer.
Just get secrets out.
Yeah.
Got both our blocks. Not going to be super helpful, but not the worst either. I almost would have not played the second singer so I could dump it so that I'm guaranteed to get Potion of Illusion, right? Out of the Savara.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter. This is good. The shield battery is just... This is... Okay. Fighting hand space, I feel like, is half the battle with Hostage Mage. And something like shield battery alleviates so many of those problems.
Yeah, so we're gonna... Let's shield battery, block, and then drop the Savara.
It makes this turn just so much cleaner. This is immaterial. And then I can...
We're not playing that. We can battery again.
I'm not going to because I want to play around. I want to play around Theatar. I could play it next turn if I want to. 4 and 7. So like now I'm thinking we could battery and Robocaller and get a 4 and get a 7. We're likely to get a minion. We're likely to get Magister. I don't know if it matters.
It's a 3% difference.
Okay.
Versus the mill.
But we're not milling, right? Because we're getting rid of 2 cards to get 2 cards.
Oh, I wouldn't even play the Robocaller, to be honest.
Oh, okay. Well, then we'll just leave it.
I wouldn't be looking to play Robocaller here at all.
Okay. Hopefully he eats it. Tell me he eats it. Okay, that's fine. Filling up your board is fine. Big fan, actually. Alright. They are not trading. They could give 0 fucks. Fair enough. They are trading. I don't know why. Nutty. Okay, reminder, we've got shield battery in here for now. Are we trading Savara and then potioning? Or are you feeling like a Sleet Skater potion type deal? Or are we trying to weave in another Savara? What are you thinking?
I want a potion, trade, battery, and then Sleep the Titan.
We're trading.
Yeah.
I forgot. Okay. Just stop the Titan from doing Titan things.
I see the souls of our fallen.
We have some good spells that we can get off a top deck to put into the Savara. Like a Frost Nova, I think the game is basically over. The game's basically over anyway. But things get less awkward. Like, oh, it's fine. Who gives a shit? Like, I can just combo now if I really want to. I'm just not printing any mana when I do so.
I don't think we're comboing yet.
I only pull one with the Robocaller, and it's a 2.
There must be a way.
I don't hate it.
I don't hate it either. It gets past attacks. We high rolled like crazy.
I can rewind 100%. Take another shield battery.
It's just gross. Are we freezing the big guy again?
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna potion. No, we didn't get a potion. Cool. So we can just
We can play one shield battery.
and then just
And then we
chill.
want to ping one of our own minions.
One of our own minions. I'm gonna ping
Yes.
the robocollar. Because I don't think I want any more robocollars. Gross. We basically become line cracker.
Pretty much.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, cool. We were playing around it, so
Yeah, we're good now.
that kind of ends the game.
So we can shield battery and then just play a few Romaths.
Don't think too hard. You'll hurt yourself.
Big fan of that. Don't think too hard. Don't hurt ourselves.
And we basically never die now.
You'll hurt yourself.
I think they left. No, they didn't leave. I don't know if I want to fill my hand, because I think I do still want to draw other spells. And I think at this point, more armor is gratuitous and useless. But I'm also open to what you think. I think there's a line where if we think that they're eventually going to hell yeah, you just always just rip these and get 3 in hand and just don't care that you draw anything for the rest of the game. But
I mean, I'm already of the opinion that we don't care,
okay.
but I'm fine just holding 2. There's no punish.
Like, they're never
We know they're a Reno
removing... They would need double rat, and I think they're a Reno deck. If we're playing around double rat, I think that's where we just sort of rip this. And, like, we're always gaining more armor than damage they can possibly deal us. Plus, we could start weaving in solid alibi, which I'm assuming is our next play. Yeah, it's like now...
Alright, there's...
The rewind does add a card to hand, though.
Yeah, so we're never playing the rewind.
Okay, so we won't play the rewind. Fine.
So... What if we metal detector?
Probably alibi, so I'm not taking damage. Get a coin and rip, 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 rip.
Yeah, and then we're going to fill our hand and we're going to play volume up.
Oh, wow. Okay, so we'll do this. Why? Oh, because of that. Okay. So, oh, I forgot to play alibi. Stupid. I took 2 damage. What am I going to do?
That's fine.
What am I going to do?
So we can just play a bunch.
You got Vault?
We can
Holy
fill our
shit.
board.
Loran got Vault. You got it, Loran. Alright. So I'm going to play a bunch of these.
Yep.
Alright, I'm going to rip a volume up now, probably.
Or
I don't think it matters. I'm going to rip
nothing
one more
matters
of
at this
these.
point.
And another one of these. There we go.
Sure, you can ping one of your own guys.
These. Oh, man. It's fine.
Doesn't matter. Game's over.
Can they ever out-damage our armor gain? No. No, we're playing Linecracker. But this is where, like, you try to figure out, okay, is the person a masochist, or have they gamed out, like, how the game ends? Because this game is over. Nice, we got a Frost Nova.
Yep. And we milled the plague.
We take those. I think this is so cool. Okay, they agree.
Yeah, game's over.
No,
At least an opponent would like to be your friend.
friend. Should we take the friend request for content? We always take the friend request for content. We are friends now. Hello, friend. Hi, oh my god. Oh, they're nice. Damn it. All right. They were nice. All right. Final thoughts. Things that we learned, I think, as far as things that we learned playing Hostage Mage. Always like try to pick lines that use your mana unless you don't, which I think we did a couple times. But like I think by and large, like just trying to do the early plays so that things like volume up feel a little bit better, feel pretty good.
So the only time that we floated throughout all of that
was not playing a
when
caller, I think.
it wasn't even that, because that was just so that you wanted to mill, right?
Right.
And you wanted to keep a full hand. So we did it because we wanted to keep a full hand, and we also did it because we wanted to play audio amplifier
Right.
ASAP.
Right.
And we couldn't ping because its cost was increased.
Sorry.
So those are two like niche situations.
Yeah.
And I'd argue that we
Sorry, you were thinking.
differed in our plays. I'd argue we differed in our plays because I didn't want to play the Robocaller because I didn't want to mill initially. I was okay with taking the draw. But you wanted to mill to protect against Theater.
I don't think I was milling, because I think it was still at 10 and we had a space for 11. So it was like draw 2. I would have shield battery 2 and got rid of 2. So like I would have it would have been like 10 out of 11 either way. It was whether or not we were getting into our deck further.
I see.
At the same time, I don't think we needed to get into our deck further. I think we had everything put together anyway. So like we were only going to be placing stuff in our hand that might have been unplayable. So it was a good reason to also just not Robocaller.
Yep.
So like 6.
I could also just be tired.
Yep.
It is 4:30 a.m. here.
It is 4:30 a.m. and thank you so much, Marty. Where can we find you?
Yeah. So I'm mostly on Discord. Same handle as on Twitch. nhlfan1. You can also follow me on Twitter. It's the same thing, but also with _HS. I don't really tweet anymore because Twitter is kind of
cringe.
Gone downhill, and Hearthstone Twitter isn't nearly as active as it used to be. But I'm around, and if you DM me, I'll be happy to answer. So
we'll also plug in THL too, just in case you are interested in playing in one of the standard showcases as well. They do Wild. Wild might be going away. Population's kind of low. But just in case you want to also be involved in some of the, competitive Hearthstone outside of, qualifiers for MTs and stuff. THL is a great grassroots organization that does that and gives you the conquest format, right? Like I don't know, like you can sell it, Marty, a little bit better than I can.
Yeah, so we basically run a team-oriented league for players of all skill levels. Okay, it doesn't matter if you've never hit Legend before or if you're a world champion. Yes, we've had world champions play in THL. You're allowed to play. You can come in. I can pretty much guarantee you a team. There was a time when you used to have to get picked up by a captain to play. That's not true anymore. Now I reach out and I make sure everyone who wants to play gets a chance to play. Okay, so all you gotta do is just stop by, look up Team Hearth League. We have a website, Discord, join the Discord. And then you just get to play the actual games of Hearthstone against a ton of different people, different classes. It's a brand new way to play. It's nothing like ladder. A lot of strategy.
It's nothing.
You
like
improve
that.
a lot. Yeah, you learn a lot. You improve a lot, and it's just a great way to make friends. Everyone I've talked to who has played in THL, whenever they leave, they also never say it's because of THL. if anything, THL is the only reason why they play Hearthstone. Just to give you a sense of how things are there. So, I urge you to stop by, even if it's just to look around. We are NA only at the moment, which is the only downside. But we do have players in EU, Australia, even parts of Asia that play. Okay, I know people from Singapore have joined, people from South Korea. We've had Indian players. It's a global community, and it's something I'm really proud of. So,
100%. I would. I think the only reason why I'm probably not still playing now is because it got harder to do the kind of content I want to do, and also feel like I was polished enough that I could be competitive at THL. Like, I probably will try to hop in, and if there's a Wild Division next season, I'll be in it. But it, it's hard to play viewer decks and kind of like live in the dumpster, and then also be ready to face KVLT, or be ready to face you, or be ready to face Memnarch, and be like sharp enough that you feel like you know the meta and the meta decks well enough that you can grab a win. So it's like, whoa.
so that's the funny thing. You'd expect it to be all, high-level meta decks, but there were people winning with some funny things. I know someone who brought Charge Druid multiple times in one. And I'm not talking about like the old Charge Druid with Dorian. I'm talking about Boar Druid. You know the deck.
Right. Oh, yeah, I know the deck.
Yeah, that deck. Okay, people have brought that. I've seen, Elemental Mage. Let me see what else. There's all kinds of weird stuff.
Elemental
I've
Mage
seen
is
the
okay. Okay, it's okay. It's
yeah,
serviceable on a budget.
there's just so much. I've seen different variations of Seedlock, like Fatigue Seedlock with Ben Autumn. Okay, there have been people that brought that. There's the weird XL Rogue that has both Hook Tusk and Alexstrasza combo. Okay. You'll find all kinds of Reno decks,
I
by
was
the
so
way.
close to going all in on learning that deck, and then Copper Scum came up with like Control Rogue, and I'm like, oh my god, you picked the best parts of like the deck without having to do like super complicated combo lines that I have to learn. Like, oh, thank you, Copper, thank you.
Yeah.
All right,
Even like decks like Equilibrium Priest, like the new Quest Priest that you've seen going around. I know it doesn't see a ton of play at high ranks, but there were people that brought it and they were winning with it. So
It beats aggro. Like, it beats board-based stuff. I'll give them that. Like, if you get it online and you start bouncing the quest reward, it's really tough to beat it with the board-based deck. It's just, I don't know who's insane enough to think that like going all board-based is going to win a game, right? Like, I like, we're probably gonna, if we're gonna play THL and we really want to play for keeps, playing something like Hostage Mage, Malygos Druid, Holy Wrath Paladin. Like, I don't. Sometimes like just ignoring the board feels better, even if it's the worst choice, because you feel like you don't feel so hopeless when things don't go your way. Like, it almost keeps your mental more intact. It's just a different game.
yeah, I wouldn't say that that's always the case because I found myself bringing different decks every week, which you can do, by the way. It's very cool. It's only one match a week, and you get to bring a different lineup every week, scheduled in your own time. Super low commitment if you want. But I think the metagame there is a completely different topic that we'd probably have to cover another time.
Yeah, 100%. If there's still a THL and there's still a conquest metagame that's worth it, or even next time KVLT and Maxi host a Wild Open, which they seem to do with like semi regularity, that'd be a fun time to have you come on and talk about it.
Absolutely.
All right. And if you enjoyed this content, it's an extra long video because it's Hostage Mage. Why fucking wouldn't it be? Please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing on my YouTube channel.